Hello and welcome to another episode of Boys Gone Wild. It's me, Horatio Gould.
Another one.
What? I've decided to wear...
Same thing.
I spent a long time deciding whether it was going to be a trackies episode or a trousers episode.
I don't think you've done a trousers episode for quite a long time. it's this. I'm greeted with the same sight every time I walk up to this room on a Wednesday. It's the Gardener Chic.
Yeah.
I think you changed the trackies.
Yeah, I bought new high quality trackies. No, I had these.
Well, we had the discussion.
Yeah.
Well, why didn't you put those on?
What, those ones?
The high quality ones that you
These
bought.
are the high quality
ones.
ones.
Oh, they are the new ones.
Yeah.
I did ask. I wasn't being rude.
Yeah. Well, I kind of spend my days in this. It's like a sort of shell suit. I don't know what the shell suit is, but it's like because these are both my softest jumper and my softest trackies. I wear them together. I feel like a cowboy because if I'm working from home, then I will not really leave this room because I'll be at that desk editing or something.
Yeah.
And then I'll sleep because it's so cold. I'll sleep in this
and then wake up in it.
I'll wake up in it.
Yeah, it's kind of gross, isn't it?
It's just the whole.
Because I do the same thing.
It's just the whole thing. But then because it's so cold, I don't think you get as musky. You know.
Yeah, there's not as much sweat dripping about.
And then I add this.
So these are the new trackies.
Yes.
How are you finding them?
Good. Well, I mean, I was going to take them back because they were too big, as we talked about. But
did we discuss that?
Yeah, and then I decided that they'll be fine for indoors.
Yeah,
just a bit too baggy.
But we discussed it. We discussed the idea of you getting a pair of trackies, maybe a bit, tighter at the ankle, and then a hoodie, so you can go to your girlfriend's house.
Exactly. Yeah, no, that was on the way to my girlfriend's house chic, trying to nail that aesthetic, which is
a specific aesthetic.
You want to be looking stylish at it. You don't want to be phoning it in.
Yeah.
But I like doing the podcast in my tracksuits because I feel.
I was going to say, what went through your head when you're thinking trousers or sweatpants?
It's a tough one because it's with this podcast it's weekly, it's regular, it's just this consistent.
You want it to feel cozy.
You want it to feel cozy. It's not. You kind of want when we don't have guests on. You kind of don't want it to feel special at all. You want it to be as regular as possible.
It's more like a reassurance.
And this is why the regular listeners listen to this is as part of your routine as possible.
Yeah,
a lot of
it's just to remind you that you're still alive.
Yeah, or to forget
that you're still alive. Yeah, I suppose if we jazzed it up in any way, it would get them out. It's not a routine. It's like it's very much like doing your chores.
Yeah, a lot of people listening to this, they're trying to forget about existence.
Yeah.
And so
where do most people listen to this? In what situation?
I think this is next to like white noise.
Because we've got one of our friends who's a maniac who goes home and puts it on his telly on a Friday morning and sits there with a coffee and watches it.
Really?
Tom Doughty.
Really?
Yeah, plays for Bath Rugby. It's insane, isn't it, to sit down and watch this on a TV? Not doing anything else. I mean, it's great.
I would say my serving suggestion.
Yeah.
Like, on Weetabix.
Sure.
With serving suggestion?
Yeah, just on Weetabix.
No, but like, you know what I mean? On the cereal box, it will be like Weetabix with raspberries and yogurt. And it goes,
like a recipe suggestion.
It goes serving suggestion on the front of the box.
Like a recipe suggestion.
It's them trying to say, no. Serving
well,
suggestion.
But they say, why not try it with this?
That's not a recipe.
Like on a Thai curry paste.
Putting raspberries on a Weetabix is not a recipe.
I'm not saying it is, but
it's a serving suggestion. But the reason why they specify serving suggestion is like, why not try serving it like this?
Let's not get into an argument straight off the bat. But a serving suggestion could be, like a calorie thing. Have 2 Weetabix, or otherwise you'll get fat.
I don't think that's what a serving suggestion means.
A serving suggestion to me, if I heard that out of nowhere.
No. Yeah, that's what you'd think. So
I'd think, have 2.
That's serving recommendation. That's a serving recommendation. That's actually a bit different.
Right. Yeah.
A recommendation is about your health. Suggestion is more like
enjoyment.
Leisure. Raspberry.
So suggestion is leisure. Recommendation is health.
On cereal, and the key reason why I think they legally have to say serving suggestion. That's why.
Well, they have legally. Weetabix has to suggest that you eat it with raspberries.
No, legally, if they do suggest to eat it with raspberries, they have to preface it by saying it's a serving suggestion, because otherwise dumb
Then-
fatsos like you would open the
Yeah.
box going, where's
Where's
the
the
raspberry?
raspberries?
Is
Right.
there yogurt in the
Yeah,
box?
yeah, right.
And then you'd sue Weetabix
for not providing the ingredients.
and
that
then
they
you'd
said.
win in court.
I'd win in court
You'd win.
because the idiots always win.
Because there was that famous court case about the woman from McDonald's who, why everything says caution, I'm hot,
Yes.
spilt it and won that
Yeah.
court. Because the thing is, it is like a victory for the little guy, but it's not. Is it an honourable victory being like in court for being a bit of a spack?
Well, it is, because I think it takes a certain amount of intelligence to even think that you could bring that to court.
For those of you who don't know, a woman was driving home from a McDonald's drive-through with a coffee in her lap.
They all know.
And then I think she squeezed her legs together and it burnt
Yeah.
her. And she said it didn't say
It was kind
hot.
of one of the biggest first lawsuits in that kind of now, why everything's got loads of labels on it to avoid those kind of lawsuits.
It's like
it was the start
it's like,
of you
like
can
what
sue for
9/11
anything.
did to security in airports.
Yeah, so the lady that spilled coffee on her leg at McDonald's is the 9/11 of what kind of law is that? That's like
Of
health and safety law.
Yeah, of health and
Health and safety lawsuits.
because it's like fair play to her, and I wonder what she's doing now because she must have got millions. The whole point is that she got millions, right?
I don't know.
That's why it was a big deal.
Well, it's still a big deal because it's an interesting case. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter too much about the money that was on it.
But
I don't think
just
she's like living in the Caribbean,
you know, if
only
you're
drinking iced tea.
because it's like, I guess it brings into the court cases like that. They sort of bring into question the balance of like winning a case, getting money, but also personal dignity. Like for example, if you were eating a massive tub of yogurt,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
and then you accidentally, as you're getting ready to stand up and leave,
Well, just the kitchen. Am I in public? Is this
you're at
yogurt?
you're at a park, you're like a picnic table.
Did I purchase this yogurt from like a yogurt shop?
Yeah,
Right.
it's like a big Muller. It's a big company.
Right, so I walked into Muller.
You've got a bucket of yogurt.
I got a bucket. Yeah.
You're eating it with a giant spoon.
Yeah.
And then as you get out to leave, you push down on the table to leave as you would, but instead you push down on the rim of the bucket.
Right.
Yeah, does that make sense? So
But
it's
the
like
bucket's, but the bucket's on the table.
yeah, and then as you're
So
going,
so maybe we shouldn't have used the bucket. But how would I mistake
you're trying to
the
pull
bucket
yourself-
of yogurt for the table if the bucket's quite high off the table?
because this is when you're not thinking, right?
I'm full of yogurt.
You're full of yogurt. You
Yeah.
pull that,
Yeah.
the bucket all falls on you. You're
Right.
covered in yogurt.
Do I drown or am I just...
No.
Okay.
And then the yogurt stains your favourite cardigan.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
And then you you now have a choice of going to court and suing Muller for not saying stains,
Caution,
yogurt
do not
stains,
use to push yourself off.
yogurt stains clothes.
Oh, yogurt stains clothes. The only thing...
Now-
No, because that you wouldn't have a lawsuit there, because if the label said caution, yogurt stains clothes... I think the only way I would be able to sue is if I purposely just put the yogurt... I got the big spoon,
Yeah.
put it on my favourite cardigan, and then started eating like by lifting up my cardigan into my mouth.
Why?
Because I'd think, well, yogurt, I don't know that yogurt stains clothes, therefore why wouldn't I eat it like that? Bam, sue him.
All right, let's say, I mean, obviously that example was pulled off the top of my head, but let's say if you know that if you go for this, you're going to win
Yeah.
£1 million.
1 million.
Yeah.
Well, then I'll do it.
But
Then I'd 100% do it.
it's a televised trial.
Given my... Yeah, of course I'd 100% do it. Because it would be fucking hilarious.
It's true.
There's no way, like, if I wasn't trying to
People versus
make
Andrew
it in
Cohen.
the comedy industry, then maybe. If I was
Yeah,
like
if
maybe
you
a
weren't
high
trying to
profile
make-
lawyer or
yeah.
something, or a lawyer's a tough one because
you'll be
maybe
making money.
making a point.
Yeah.
If I was even,
A regular Joe.
even just a GP, I would think twice about it
Because it's quite...
because I'd be the yogurt guy. The yogurt stain man.
who spilled a bucket of yogurt on his cardigan and then sued Muller for $1 million.
The thing is, if you know, I actually think there's a bit of a dignity in it. Because although
quiet dignity,
I think quite a loud one. Because so going back to the original example of the woman who spilled coffee on herself, she's not an idiot because she's sued them and she's won. She's taken a chance. She's taken on a big corporation. She knows in her heart of hearts, as every normal person, rational person knows, that their coffee's hot.
Yeah.
So she knows that it's her fault, but she's chancing her arm.
Yeah.
What's wrong with a chance against McDonald's?
So in the yogurt cardigan thing...
The yogurt cardigan thing...
You could still maintain some dignity.
Well...
If you said, I had no idea that this would stain my favourite cardigan.
My favourite cardigan.
And then you bring it out as court evidence in the...
And I just can't get it off no matter how hard I try. No, I think there's still a dignity. I think there's still a dignity in that. It's like a David versus Goliath.
Yeah.
And it's just, give it a shot. Taking a punt.
Yeah. Well, I get,
but surely there was more of a story behind the coffee one.
What do you mean?
Was it that so she spilt it?
She spilt it and burnt really badly. Like, she got a 3rd-degree burns.
Yeah. And maybe she was more cavalier. In fairness, she could have had multiple cups. One of them being Pepsi or Coke. The other one being coffee.
Yeah.
And then so she was quite cavalier with how she was handling them.
Yeah.
And without the label, you've got a case, haven't you?
Do you think there's something quite Alec Baldwin-y about it?
The lack of health and safety regulation.
Yeah, well, it's just more like labels.
Live ammunition. Blank ammunition.
Caution, I'm hot.
Caution, I'm hot. Caution, you'll die. Don't shoot this one. Don't put these in gun.
It is a reasonable and unreasonable side of the spectrum.
Yeah, are you suggesting the Rust production team should have labelled every bullet as blank
Caution,
or live, or just danger?
I'm hot.
Danger, bullet.
may cause death if fired through gun. But no,
we were saying something before we got into the servings.
We were talking about serving suggestion.
Yeah.
God, that really it fragmented completely. I was just saying that if this podcast had a serving suggestion, it would be BFI IMAX.
Do you think?
That's
BFI IMAX.
Do you know those 4D cinemas?
Yeah.
With the smells?
Yeah, no, I do. The smells. I've never been to one.
Actually, when you're in... You'd know more about this in like Disneyland Orlando, and it's like you're watching something with the ride going.
Oh yeah, like a VR roller coaster.
Yeah, that's how this is intended to be made.
Yeah,
you know how a lot of times it's like Christopher Nolan's films, they're meant to be watched in the cinema.
That's meant to be watched in 4 senses.
This is meant to be watched.
You can smell the herbal tea.
And you're just on a roller coaster, being chucked backwards and forwards as we're just having a stationary chat.
My serving suggestion is that you watch it secondhand from someone else who's watching it on their phone on a train.
That's your serving suggestion.
That's my serving suggestion. I think that's the best way to.
That's the best way to consume.
Like,
and not even able to hear it. You're just
and I'm not being racist here, but the Eastern European guys who are on public transport who blare whatever, they're always watching something out loud. They never put their headphones on.
Was that a knock on the door?
No.
Okay.
There's someone else in anyway. They never put their headphones on, and they're always watching something in an Eastern European language very loudly, so that you kind of have to watch it with them. It's watching them.
And they say they get really upset if you don't watch it with them.
Yeah, they're like, "What's wrong with my show? What's interesting out the window?"
I think the main thing is they don't seem aggressive to me. Those guys, they just seem very sad and wistful. Because I always see like a Polish guy with a cracked phone screen watching his favorite TV show, and then if I make eye contact with him, he'll go.
What does that mean?
He'll tap on the seat next to him and go.
Wait, are you serious?
This happens all the time.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, can I just check? He said it so sincerely. I was like, I felt a bit sad that that's never happened to me.
Patting on the, and then he comes and sits, and then he leans his
head and falls asleep. Starts snoring.
Yeah, it's just one of those stereotypes, though. It's really harmful.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Is that a rude thing to say?
What, that they ask you over?
Well, not
to watch
that bit.
Their favourite TV shows.
Not where we got to.
See, the thing is, I know what you're talking about, but I was racist in a different way because I didn't think Eastern European.
What did you think?
I thought South Asian.
Maybe there's a crossover.
do you think you're not the best at gauging?
No.
So do you think you've missed?
No, it's Eastern European. I know Eastern European. And you can tell by the language that's coming out of the phone.
Yeah.
But it's also, I mean, young, you can get some, it might just be South Asian people watching it's South Asian people and Eastern European people watching their soap operas.
Yeah.
And then it's young people from London.
Well, there's rowdy
listening
youths
to drill, yeah.
Yeah, but I feel the young people from London, that's a fuck you to the system.
Absolutely.
I feel like a first generation South Asian father.
It's not. It's acclimatizing. There's nothing wrong with it.
It's not.
There's no point.
Fuck you.
Yeah, it's not a political statement.
It's no concept that other people can hear.
It's just I want to watch my show, and I'm aware I'm on the bus. But does that matter? Can't we all just watch my show? And I mean, sure, why not? Because I very rarely travel somewhere by myself without headphones, and I think if you do travel by yourself without headphones, then you've got to put up with that shit.
Yeah.
Why aren't you traveling with headphones by yourself?
It's true. I've been on.
Unless you're reading.
In life, you get in some pretty good hot streaks or bad streaks of breaking headphones, being in between headphones. So I've been on a hot streak for over a year
with
now.
One pair of headphones.
Pretty much, I always have a pair at the moment. I haven't had to go in raw to a journey for a while.
Yeah.
But when you end up having to do it, you are shocked
it's
by
bleak.
it. And I also find
It's a whole different thing.
on London Underground with I have the big noise cancelling headphones, and I feel it's quite a strange experience traveling at rush hour with the noise cancelling on.
Yeah,
because you're around so many people. You're on this noisy underground, and you've just got a podcast or music noise cancel, and so does everyone else.
Yeah,
and you feel this weird. Your sensory is really weird because you're completely in your own world. And if I feel there's this weird look that happens when you're on the tube at rush hour and there's two people with noise cancelling headphones, and maybe you step backwards and step on their foot, the look round that you give, because there's a huge fear you have when you have noise cancelling headphones that people are plotting against you, or that you've been doing something wrong for the last 10 minutes. People have been shouting, stop, get off my leg.
We'll unpack that at the end of this
bit. Get
bit.
off my leg. And you just being like, I wish you knew it wasn't me. And that look, though, of when you look back, because you don't know what their face is going to be like if you stepped on there. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of,
you don't know if they've already started shouting.
You don't know if they're angry. You don't, and then they're nearly always chilled out. But it's that look, and you just don't know.
Does that happen to you a lot?
It does happen to me a lot. Well, no, people don't scream.
Dyspraxia.
Yeah. So, spatially, I do find it quite disconcerting. Especially, so I had to take Kit to film this thing, and I'm doing it like twice a week for 4 weeks at rush hour, full kit. Yeah, so I've got like a giant shell bag, and that is a terrifying experience because I'm noise cancelling. Yeah. I'm knocking old ladies every time I turn. Yeah. Fucking. Honestly, it's like that scene from Gladiator where he's fighting all those people off. That's me in the middle of the tube.
Yeah, I would never trust you to go anywhere with anything in that sense.
Fair enough. It's go anywhere with anything. Because you wouldn't trust me to go anywhere with anything.
No, I wouldn't. And you know what I mean. And I don't think you, in your heart of hearts, trust you to go anywhere with anything.
Anywhere with anything.
Something's going to happen. But I want to go back to the paranoia point.
Yeah.
Because do you feel like people are? Do you feel like you might be making a mistake, and that everyone knows about it in the carriage, but you don't know because you've got your headphones in? That's kind of mental.
Do you not think? Do you think? I thought that was a really human, relatable experience.
I don't think it is. I kind of get the essence of the feeling because there's a confusion when it's a weird human experience to not be able to hear anything other than something that's not actually there, and you can't hear what is there.
Yeah.
But I don't think I go to the point where the carriage is plotting against me, like planning my demise.
No, I don't mean planning my demise. I mean, I've stepped on an old woman's long hair.
Right.
Yeah. And then she's desperately trying to get off the ground.
Yeah.
And I hadn't realised for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
People were just going, "God, you're killing her!
Yeah.
You're killing her!"
She's slowly suffocating.
And then I'm like, what? Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I think that might come from a place of lack of confidence in your spatial awareness. No, because I'm
Do you have noise cancelling?
The thing is, I'm very confident I'm not stepping on an old woman's hair most of the time.
Do you have noise cancelling headphones?
Heck yeah, I've got noise cancelling headphones.
Which ones?
Well, I've got AirPods.
Yeah.
Well, I previously had them. I mean, the ones that I use are kind of noise cancelling. They're not like, vroom, but they're like, But no, I think I'm very confident with my ability to get on and off public transport without causing a ruckus, which I'm not sure you have the same confidence in yourself with.
How often are you going in rush hour with the tube?
It's none of your business. Very infrequently. Very infrequently. Although, is rush hour like...
Because you don't have... There's no
I think I
reason
just
for you
miss
to
it.
ever go rush hour.
Yeah. And it is hell.
Yeah.
It's a different beast.
It's a completely different beast.
I've been at like 5:30 and it's been busier than I would like.
Sure.
But I wouldn't call it rush hour.
No.
But then I've had the equivalent I'd get on that is the last tube back on the Central line.
Yeah.
That's maybe worse than rush hour because everyone's drunk.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes it more jovial, but it's more packed.
No.
No. Okay. Well, I've been in some places where I shouldn't be on this train. Yeah. None of us should be on this train.
That's every rush hour for 40 minutes. Every single train is.
What time is that?
That in the morning. Well, I get rush hours a lot less than it used to be because of working from home. It's completely changed that. But I think before lockdown, because when I briefly worked in an office, I had to do 3 days a week. I had to do proper rush hour then rush hour. What a horrible way to live.
It's not worth it.
Going in just knowing guaranteed.
Yeah.
That's going to be rammed.
Have you seen
missing
those...
2 trains sometimes because it's so packed.
Oh, fuck it.
Yeah.
Have you seen those videos of in Japan when they're like have to push this?
I've seen it firsthand. They have gloves on.
Yeah, and they push them in.
They fucking love trains in Japan. I was on a bullet train in Japan and the ticket inspector, when he'd finished with the carriage, he bows to the carriage. No one is necessarily looking at him.
Just respect for the train.
A respect for the train.
Yeah. It was the bullet train.
It was the bullet train. It's a great train, but that is a level of respect that's just unbelievable.
Yeah, we definitely don't have the same.
No,
kind
we
of respect
don't.
for our trains.
They're all called Ian.
I accidentally got locked on a train briefly because it was actually on our way to Oxford, but the train pulled up to
That when you left in that
the cube,
but that massive
special
taxi
needs
cab bus. I didn't want to say it.
Well, you did. We got on the train, and it pulled into the station. It was last stop, and I needed a wee, so I thought that's fine. I'll go and have a wee in the train before we then have to go and get a cab or whatever. And because it was the last stop, I was, everything's going to be fine. And I was in the toilet and I started weeing. I swear I felt it moving, so I started freaking out because I thought it was just going to go back. And the next station was like 25 minutes back. So in my head, I was like...
So you'd reached the end of the thing and you just thought, I'm going to chance it with a quick piss.
I didn't like summon a piss out of nowhere. I needed a wee.
And you just thought, I don't know Oxford that well.
No. What do you mean I didn't know Oxford?
Well, you could have
It was
done
the
the
last
train
stop.
Station.
Oh, yeah, true. But I don't. I was taking no chances with it. So I went for a wee, thought it was moving. Turns out it wasn't moving. But then I went to open the door and it was locked. So I was just kind of on this train and Elle was already on the platform. So for a minute, I thought it was just going to take off into a depot somewhere.
Embarrassing.
Which would have been funny. And I was laughing about it. But then I thought it either goes to the depot where I might get left overnight or it would go back to the previous station. I was like, well, it's only 25 minutes. I was like, yeah, but that's one way. It will be a good hour and a half before I get back probably. But then I found there was this wanderer, this kind of...
Couldn't Elf get someone on the platform? My boyfriend is there.
Well, she was off.
There.
She doesn't care. She's off. She's off hailing the taxi, ready for the night. And then I kind of was just looking around for a bit. I was like, I'm sure something will happen. Something will happen. I'm not going to just be on here forever. And then the man like a kind of a Pied Piper, but instead of summoning the rats out of a village, he was just checking the train. So the Pied Piper comes slowly closer towards me, and he's seen it 1,000 times. Yeah, he was like, "Don't worry."
He knows it.
I got come with me because he was checking all the toilets, and I was like, "I was just in there." He was like,
he's a panty sniffer, is he?
Yeah, he poop sniffer. And then I actually went into the cockpit because that was the only way to get out, if that's what you call on a train.
What noise did you make when you went into the cockpit?
Hey, Hulk, how you doing it? What do you mean, what noise did I make? What the fuck are you talking about? Like,
You go, oh.
you know what? I did.
Yeah, of course you did. You can't go into the cockpit of a train and not go,
I
oh.
was like, oh.
Oh, hee.
You're working with all these then?
Beep, beep, beep.
Yeah,
Bop it.
And then the driver was there. He wasn't. I did ask him about all the buttons, and he wasn't that interested.
No.
But then eventually got off the train.
Yeah.
So that was a train story.
Yeah. How was Oxford?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, because we never got on to Oxford last week. It was very fun. I went there, me and Elle went there, because it was two garage DJs that we like a lot.
Yeah.
It was
their names, just for people.
Sammy Virgie and MPH.
Who the fuck is that? I have no idea.
What's this dickhead talking about?
I have no idea what you're talking about right now. I am zoned out.
I didn't mean to name drop. My apologies. But we got there. It was very last minute because as I say, that like one of them's my favourite, the other one's Elle's favourite, and it was a coincidence that we were playing together. So it was or was it? Is anything truly a coincidence in this world? No. So we did a very last minute trip up there, booked a Premier Inn in the Oxford. In Oxford Cowley is what it's called, actually.
Okay.
It was in the business park, Oxford Cowley, because the centre one was booked up. I love a Premier Inn. I'm a big fan of a Premier Inn.
It's quite exciting being a Premier Inn.
I
I've been a Premier Inn in ages.
It's fucking great. I love a hotel so much.
Yeah.
There's an atmosphere, there's a smell,
Yeah.
which I adore. It's just cheeky. There's something a bit naughty.
It is cheeky. It is cheeky. You're right.
It particularly with a Premier Inn because it feels...
Checking out your room, what's in there, shit or good.
I love having the hotel key card in my wallet. I love it.
Good or bad, it's always fun to check out what a hotel room looks like.
Absolutely. And it's always...
Complaining about it, saying how great it is.
I never complain.
Not once.
Not once. Because I've never been... It has to be terrible for it to be bad. And it's never terrible. It's a Premier Inn.
The main thing is the sheets of the Premier Inn.
What's good?
Good sheets.
Yeah, good beds.
Yeah.
You really fall into them.
Yeah.
But so I was having a blast. Up and down the corridors, skipping along. But... So we had, it was a massive one. So you check in at the main reception and then you have to go, we were in a different building to where the main reception was. So it was like a 3-minute walk, let's say. And it was underneath a beefeater. And I was like, I'm in heaven right now. This is exactly where I want to be. And our room, we got our room number and the key card. And it was like, you go in this building, then you go up the stairs. And then along, you know how all the corridors look exactly the same?
Sorry to interrupt this, but
yeah, you're somewhere else.
Yeah, maybe this is quite a sad thought.
Yeah,
but is maybe the ultimate disappointment of life is that it's not the beginning of walking into a hotel?
Sorry, say that again.
Is it not the great disappointment of life that it can't always be like when you first walk into a hotel?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
I'm as excited every time I enter a Premier Inn.
Yeah.
Because the world's in front of me.
Yeah.
My life is in front of
me.
me.
I just mean that excitement of seeing a hotel, the bar.
I can't remember. Wait, do you mean when you first get to the hotel? Oh, yeah.
And the night will never reach the heights of that.
Yeah. Well, the new kind of feel.
Yeah.
Like, I hope the nights would reach to a slightly higher than that.
That's the pinnacle. It doesn't get better than that.
The smell of a new Premier Inn. I don't disagree.
That's as good as life gets. It doesn't get much better than that, is what I'm saying.
In some ways it doesn't. In some ways it doesn't.
That's the great disappointment, and that's the great burden.
That's why...
the great burden of man.
And at the end of the day, you'll get more depressed going into a Premier Inn because you'll never find the feeling of when you first walk into a Premier Inn.
It's like heroin.
Yeah. It's a catch-22.
Yeah.
So
sorry, carry on.
Yeah, so you kind of walk upstairs and then you know how they all have identical corridors, so you get very disorientated very quickly. It was a good, I'd say, 4-minute walk down these identical corridors, and it was like one down there right, down there left, down there right.
Yeah.
Found the room, great, got him. We then went and had a pint at the Beefeater downstairs, which was fun because the only
milk or beer.
What was it? Beer that time, yeah. But then, and it was great because we were getting some funny looks because everyone there was a bit like, "Why the fuck are you here? We're here for a family outing and like business.
Yeah.
Why is a young couple in their 20s here at the Premier Inn at the Oxford Cowley Business Park. And then, so we were dressed up for like a garage night. So we didn't really fit in anywhere.
Yeah.
Because you don't really fit in looking like you're going to a garage night at the Oxford Cowley Business Park Beefeater.
Yeah.
And
so
then
bondage gear,
butt plugs, gimp masks, leads, and all that stuff. We were chained together. Actually, it was very hard to move.
That's why you're getting weird looks. It wasn't because you were 20. It was because you had arseless leather chaps on,
glued together in leather. But then we accidentally booked a too posh restaurant. And then we got there and they all had... So we went from the Beefeater to a very posh restaurant and they didn't feel let in there. And then we went to the night and we accidentally went to a uni night. It was... Everyone there was at uni. Everyone was on Mandy. Everyone was on Coke or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a horrible flashback.
To uni days.
Because
I haven't had one of those for a while. I've been avoiding that flashback, but it's coming.
Well, it isn't
I'm
really...
I'm going to walk into it round the corner. It's going to hit me.
Maybe. But it's not like... It's easier to get that in Oxford than it is in London. Yeah. Because London, you've got loads of different clubs, whereas Oxford...
And also, it's not a student... London has no studenty feel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was... It became clear that I'm pretty sure a student put it on.
Yeah.
And it was that kind of vibe, which I didn't love.
Yeah.
Because everyone's on Mandy, but still dickheads.
Yeah.
That's kind of...
Do you feel like that there wasn't an appreciation for the music?
Or my age.
They didn't appreciate your age?
I feel like I'm... to them, I'm an old school raver. They should be...
You're like one of those people in Lem, those like old school Lem D&B
ravers.
ravers.
They should be dopping their cap.
Someone who's laid down the... They wouldn't be anywhere without you.
Not elbowing me.
Yeah.
But I was very drunk.
Yes.
I at one point I turned to her, I was like, I'm going to get in a fight tonight. Because I felt it. And there was a lot of elbows. And no one dances at things anymore. It's just everyone bobs.
Yeah.
And I dance.
It's not like it used to be.
And everyone's always bobbed, really, other than a few nights. But I don't know what that is. Is it just still, it's just going out to those kind of nights, it's just like a statement to be cool and you don't want to try and embarrass yourself by
I think because we're quite disconnected from student culture, I think lockdown has injected a shitload of autism into the bloodstream.
Do you think that much autism?
Well, I think just culture. I think autism not in like a medical sense, as in like a cultural sense.
Yeah.
I think it's not saying that people are more diagnosed with autism. It's just saying in general culture is more autistic,
but why?
Because of lockdown.
But do you think
it's stilted?
So people don't dance.
You know, it's like the children in Joseph Fritzl's basement.
Right. So we're the children.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying it's the stunted
it's
development.
It's a bit like you've just seen the daylight for the first time.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel
your eyes need to adjust.
I feel I think for a couple of years, I think it's gonna quite like mess up a bit of the. It's been this unbroken flow of youth culture, and now lockdown is sort of
I'd agree, but people regularly don't dance and stuff way before COVID.
No, it's this. This is why.
Okay, yeah, sorry, I misheard. You are right. But anyway, that night happened. Then look, I'd had a lot of beverages that day. Mm. We get back to the Premier Inn in Hotel Cowley Business Park of Oxford. And so we all know that we're not in the reception, we're in the other bit.
Yeah.
We go to the other bit, get in, it's great. You know, open the door, up the stairs. It now starts the long journey. And I don't know. I don't know what room.
Did you make any friends?
No. Yeah, one. Chaz.
Chaz.
I think his name was Chaz. Yeah, they were fun, but it wasn't a friend making endeavor. I wasn't. We were in a different world to them. Yeah. We get into with the key cog into the moment. I was like, I don't know what room number we are, but I know where the room is. Then it's like identical place. And then we kind of march for a bit. We get there and I was like, this is our room. And then just press the card. Yeah. It was like red. It was like, press the card, red. Press the card, red. And I was then trying to open it. I was like, well, the card's broken, isn't it then? Yeah. Rather than me not remembering what room we are. So I was like, come on then. And we marched all the way down to reception trying to find the guy. And then...
What time is this?
5 a.m. Yeah. And then got to... There was a guy working, thankfully. And I was like, our card's broken. And he was like, what room number are you? And I was like, I don't know. So then he was like, Okay, right. I'll just print you off a new card. And I've since become convinced that he didn't do anything. I think he might have gone like beep boop.
How
beep, beep,
visibly
beep,
drunk
beep,
were you?
Here's your new card. Visibly drunk. Yeah. I can hold it together, but my words were going.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I don't know. I don't know. Why should I have a ring number in? He was he had a sense of humour, which is good. Because to be honest, if you're working the night shift at the Premier Inn, that's probably the best part of your night.
Yeah.
The bit of fun.
Yeah.
And then he went to March. He then he gave us the card. I was like, great, thanks. And then told us the room number. And then I was like, I thanked him. And then he was like, I'm just going to make sure you get into your room. And then kind of followed us up, which was sweet in hindsight. And then we walked past the room that I'd been trying to get into. And I just went to L loudly. I was like, that was the wrong room he was going into, which he could clearly hear as well, which he already knew, I'm sure. But then we got to the right room and got in.
But I feel like, you know, you're painting yourself as the drunken dunce.
Yeah.
What's Elle been bringing to the table?
She realised that I was in that state.
Yeah.
As in, not the drunken state, just I know what's going on state.
Oh, okay.
She didn't know the room number.
Yeah, fine.
But
it was your
in fairness,
responsibility.
she definitely said that it could be the wrong room number. And
Yeah.
I was like, no, not the no, the car's broken. So yeah, I was so convinced that was our room, that the card was broken, but then it wasn't. But you know, what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? Yes, we did a call out on our Patreon for topic suggestions, and one of the first ones was about DiCaprio's. What we think of DiCaprio's new girlfriend being born in 2004. Okay.
Yeah, it's starting to lose its fun.
What, the DiCaprio saga?
Yeah, because there's been the whole the incessant jokes on the internet of when she turns 25, she's done.
Yeah.
It's now going. It's just a bit horrible now.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any fun behind it.
Yeah.
How old is she? She's born in 2004.
It's like when Pete Davidson, it was announced that he was like shagging Emily Ratajkowski. It's like, we get it.
It's
The joke's done.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's immoral, but I'm just saying in the same sort of like, we've reached the height of this.
Yeah.
Don't keep adding.
The last one was great, and now you do someone. Now you do someone over 25.
Yeah.
Whereas this is gross.
What? Just because she's 19 and he's 48?
Well, no, that's not gross. That's fine. Is he only 48? He's older than that, isn't he?
No, only 48. Does that change your mind on it?
God bless him. No, is he not? Is he not? He's hit 50.
It's a weird one because obviously it's very creepy. Yada yada yada. But is there not a small part of you that respects his commitment
to being a paedophile? No.
There's part of me that's like, Ricky Gervais made a joke at the Golden Globes 8 years ago, in front of everyone about, and then he laughed along.
Yeah.
Didn't do anything to change about it. It's become a meme.
Yeah.
And he still is committed to women under 20. He doesn't, do you know what I mean? If anything, his internal engine's getting stronger.
Yeah.
You know, his sense of...
Well, it's a bit like his serving suggestion.
Yeah. Under 25.
That he can't really... He must really, really love girls under 25.
This is what I mean. It's just like, he's getting negative press.
But does it matter for him? Like,
Well,
he's Leonardo DiCaprio. Is it that negative
Yeah,
press?
I mean, it's going to affect... He's going to be in the dwindling... He could be heading towards a semi-cancellation.
With this one. I think this one's different. There's a change in this one for some reason.
Well, it's because she's
19.
And he's always going to be... He's older than he's ever been, obviously.
19 and 48. Yeah, that is easily... Like, that's very comfortably son and daughter.
But it's his commitment, and I guess there's no sleight of hand at play. That's what I respect about it.
Yeah, he's not a
He's
magician.
not...
I know how much you hate them.
Obviously, it's gross. I want to say that, but I'm just talking about the little parts of me that does respect him about it. Is that there's a lot of guys who like young girls and they try and justify it, or they're with someone and they cheat on their wife or the younger woman.
Yeah.
His brazen open. He took her to a event and he sat there looking uglier than he's ever looked. Puffy.
Yeah.
He's getting fatter.
He's getting puffy.
He's getting puffy. He looks like a fucking estate agent.
Yeah.
And he's getting puffy. He's got his baseball cap on, and he's sitting with this like freakishly beautiful 19-year-old woman, and part of me is like, he's just sitting in plain sight. You know, people are going to be absolutely livid at this.
But I feel
it wasn't like snaps that someone took after a stakeout of him sneaking off to get a 19-year-old. He's walking out and
he's
about.
walking around. Well, that makes me feel like...
And he's looking awful. He didn't even wear a nice outfit. He looked like shit. That's just something to... looking like shit.
But that's why because he probably feels untouchable. The question is whether he is untouchable.
Yeah.
Could he be cancelled for that?
Yeah, well
find
it's definitely affected the way... It's not cool to be like, I love Leo.
No.
When it was for a bit.
Yeah.
You know.
That's true.
It will tarnish your reputation.
Something weird.
It's his number one priority. Is women under 25. He loves them. I want to love something as much as he loves.
He's got a hobby.
Supermodels under 25.
He's got a real passion.
The passion.
Which
the
not many
commitment.
people have.
The organisation, you know.
Yeah.
He has to stay on top of that shit.
What? Yeah. What? Just when their birthday is. He's got to stay on top of it.
Yeah, that's that. You know,
the weird stuff's going on because he's so out in the open about that. There's stuff happening behind the scenes. I heard once, story time, gossip time.
Are you going to tell the most told bit of gossip about him listening to music while having sex?
Yeah.
Okay,
well, now I don't want to do it. Why would I do it after that? There's no chance of saying after that. You know I'm not very good at gossip. That could have been a time for you to inspire me and encourage me to do it rather than break me down.
Hey, the gossip world is a brutal
well, apparently everyone knows that. So,
well, I think the reason is I think I told you, one, and two, we've talked about it already on the podcast.
Have we? Yeah, probably. What haven't we, though? What fucking haven't we?
Because we were talking about how funny it would be if he was listening to podcasts. Because I think he's listening to music.
Yeah. Of course he's listening to music.
It's just, it'd be funny if he's listening
having sex to the Joe Rogan Experience.
Having to Boys Gone Wild.
Oh, to our podcast, yeah. Well, we'd be throwing him off now.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. He's got a discipline to him, is what I... There's a Zen-like discipline. Do you think it's because of what? Do you think it's from the skills he learned doing the Revenant?
So he's taken the kind of human nature, survival of man themes and the skills he's learned on set.
Well, it's more the determination.
On the Revenant to always date someone who's under 25.
It's more in the face of
extreme adversity.
Maintaining your personal integrity. To him, his integrity is not sleeping with women over 25.
Yeah, but it can't be.
To us, it's not integrity, but to him, he's, you know...
It can't be an integrity thing.
There's such thing as moral relativism, isn't there?
It can't be an integrity thing. He just has to love... It's fair to say that Leonardo DiCaprio loves women under 25 more than anyone on the planet. More than anyone. I think I could say that with confidence, and many people could.
Yeah.
But I don't... It's talking about the cancelling thing. This is something I thought the other day. It's a very... You know, one side of the argument might paint it as that, you know, everything's been cancelled and nothing else exists.
Yeah.
And then the other side would say you can't do anything nowadays.
Wait. Both sides have just said the same thing.
No, everything's cancelled. Yeah, they would say the same thing.
No, you just said two sides.
Yeah, no, sorry, I did say. Yeah, so that's the same side.
What echo chamber are you living in?
Yeah, I'm just confused. Look. I think we're all a bit confused. But
one side says you can't say anything. The other side says nothing says. Is that what the debate is?
Yeah, it's a confusing world out there. So the other side saying that, you know, too many people exist who should have been cancelled. The one where I feel like we can all agree on is the guys from Little Britain.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
I don't know.
How have they sidestepped morality?
They did a ridiculous amount of blackface. It's just like it's like, lads, all right, it was the early 2000s.
But they did it again.
You're gonna do, like, if we were a sketch troupe in the early,
you let them off.
We'd be doing. There'd be a sketch with blackface.
Let's not say that because we don't have.
No,
to,
I think
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say it's a. It's so stupid hill to die on.
I'm going to die on that hill.
If we get cancelled for presumed blackface
in the blackface debate, I probably would have done that. Why are you saying?
Just stop that.
Why?
There's no need to say.
Yeah, if I was him, I would have also done. Why would you
stop? Stop. No, because they didn't just
do
it with
one sketch.
No, we wouldn't have.
Shut
your mouth. No.
But it's the amount.
No, and it's also because they didn't just do it on Little Britain. They did that airport thing.
Yeah.
And they just did it again.
So much.
And it's just the worst kind of because...
So much. And that was in like 2011 or something?
It was far too recently. But then it was... If you could... When there's, maybe blackface is used or something, you can maybe look into the comedy or if there's something a bit risque, you can go, oh, well, they didn't, it was kind of a different time. There's no argument for Little Britain.
No.
It was horrible stereotype humour, and that's all it was.
Yeah.
It was disgraceful.
Yeah.
It was a horrible show.
Yeah, it was a nasty little show.
It was mean.
Yeah.
They're mean little men.
Yeah.
And I saw Matt Lucas on the One Show the other day.
Well, he's had a bit of a revamp.
Yeah, and he looks...
He's lost a lot of wattle.
If there's one... Look,
well, he's gained wattle, probably.
If there's one thing, body shaming aside or whatever... If there's one person who shouldn't have lost weight, it's Matt Lucas.
My God.
He looks terrifying
Save
skinny.
this for the Patreon.
He looks terrifying skinny.
I have friends who are working with Matt Lucas, so I can't... We have to save this for the Patreon.
Well, then maybe bleep out the name.
You can't be saying that about...
But do you know what I mean?
What if they make a remake of Little Britain?
What? Oh, we could be in it.
We could have been two gay guys. We could have been
We could have been the two gayest men in the village.
We would have taken this. Hi!
No, but it astonishes me that
you're losing us
Matt
right now. All I'll say at Jonathan Ross's Halloween party, David Walliams was a bit shirty with me when I was in the way of him.
Right, and it doesn't surprise me.
And I think they should cancel him for it.
I'm
going to do a tweet thread now.
Yeah,
David Walliams, a thread.
Right, let me know how that goes. I think Matt Lucas was a host of Bake Off for a bit. David Walliams is a host on Britain's Got Talent. Those are two of the biggest British TV shows in Britain. British in Britain, made by Britain, born in Britain.
Born in Britain.
How in the world are these two dickheads?
Ooh.
That's right. I'm calling them out.
Ooh.
How have they survived? I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Let's set the hyper left wing mob on them. Go and get them.
Yeah.
Because just pick your battles.
Which one?
Because then instead of focusing on ones where there's like a grey area between whether it's fine or not, there's no grey area here.
But who's been cancelled in British culture?
I don't know. Who remembers?
Yeah.
I don't know. Someone
should have taken David Walliams' place.
I don't know. Well, does that have to be British culture?
No.
Who's been cancelled in Britain?
Don't know who's been cancelled in Britain.
Has anyone been? Surely people have been cancelled in Britain.
Everyone keeps going on about it. There must be some people we get.
Is it mostly just in America?
There must be some cancellation.
There must be some.
Who even got... Well, people get into shit all the time.
Well, we cancel people who are secret paedophiles, which is, you got to say, fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, but... Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to our next topic from suggestions.
Yes.
Finton McGuinness from the Patreon says, what person born before 1500 would be easiest to teach how to send an email?
Barry from Wiltshire.
Before 1500, you think there's a Barry from Wiltshire?
Bartholomew. Well, that's a tough question. Before 1500.
Easiest to teach? Well, probably Da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah, when was Galileo about?
1200s.
I'd choose him.
Yeah, one of them lot. Da Vinci, Copernicus.
One of the smarty pants.
When was Isaac Newton? Was a bit
Plato, Socrates, Aristotle.
I don't think they'd be that, because they're way further back and they're more philosophers.
So,
I feel
philosophers can't write emails.
I don't think they'd be as apt as scientists.
Well, they were, scientists, philosophers, everything. There was all the same back in ancient Greece.
I'd still think Socrates would even... Yeah, I guess they're so abstract, such abstract thinkers, you'd put a laptop in front of them and they'd just act like it was normal.
Exactly.
Because they live in such a,
Yeah.
Did Andrew notice that literally the day we talked about squeaky bum time, that gripe of yours, Kai said on Love Island, did you see that?
No, I didn't. So, I would have seen it.
So it must have been.
Oh, but I did see after, maybe a couple of episodes after, there was Ryan Reynolds was on BBC Sport with Gary Lineker and Alan Shearer, which is...
it was good fun. And Gary Lineker was annoying, wasn't he?
I only saw this. Don't, again with the pointing. I don't know.
The way he looked like such a dad.
Yeah.
Do you
Well,
know what I
did
mean?
he
It was like, be a bit cooler, chill,
Yeah.
Gary.
Yeah.
You're not as much of a loser as you act sometimes.
Yeah. He was giddy.
He's acting like an elder statesman too early, I feel.
Yeah, okay.
I think he's acting with this sort of... He's acting a bit like Wogan now. It's like... Do you know what I mean?
The time you spent thinking of Gary Lineker.
Well, it annoyed me. I mean, he did it. He had a joke lined up, which was like, we're joined today by like a massive star who's, you know, something.
Yeah.
And Ryan Reynolds.
Who was the other?
Alan Shearer.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
Well, hold on, because I didn't say what I was going to say before you went on your Lineker rant. Is that they were saying various football phrases to Ryan to see if he knew what they meant. And they said squeaky bum time. And they said squeaky bum time.
Well, did Ryan Reynolds say squeaky bum time?
No, Alan Shearer or Gary Lineker said.
Yeah.
Well, did you listen to that bit?
No.
Yeah, there it is. They were. Sorry, everyone who's listening, who now has to hear it again because one of the people on the podcast wasn't listening. What an astonishing place to be in. Gary Lineker was testing Ryan Reynolds' football slang knowledge by saying different football terms.
Oh, one of them was squeaky bum time.
Oh my God! Yes, one of them was squeaky bum time, and
in America we call it farty shit.
And Ryan's response was, presuming that it was something to do with nervous farting.
And what did Gary say?
I don't remember.
Great. That was a good little
But
segment
it's just to know that people do think, like, why would you not think it was about nervous farting? Why would you think it was about moving around on your chair?
Yeah.
And Ryan Reynolds has confirmed that for us.
We talked about this on the Patreon.
I didn't see Kai use it, though, but I would have thought about it. Maybe I do remember that, yeah. It's used far too often.
Yeah. Josh says just let Andrew get some things off his chest.
Yeah, well... Why walking, right? Why, as I feel like people are walking more often. Now, I know we live in a place where you could go on the underground and get buses and Ubers and stuff, but I'm not put the phone down. I'm not talking, I'm not talking about practical walking. I'm talking about leisure.
Rambling.
Not rambling.
Okay.
But it kind of is, but it's like leisure walking. Oh, why don't we just go on a walk? Yeah. I'm going to go on a walk for my mental health. Yeah. Why don't you fuck off? I don't get it.
You hate walking.
What's the fucking point?
You hate walking.
In fairness, there are times when I've been in this house for 3 days straight.
Yeah, you never go for a walk.
No, never go for a fucking walk.
Does Elle like a walk?
She hates them as well.
Oh, that's good.
It's perfect.
That's good. Because it's bliss.
It's fucking perfect because we've been here and we'll hear like Adam and Claudia be like, they love walking because
me and BB like walking.
Yeah, not as much as Adam and Claudia. They went to the Lake District just to walk around.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So we'll hear on like a Sunday, like, oh yeah, should we go on a walk? And we're just in our bed going, fucking losers. Fucking morons, because it's dumb. But I have spent...
And you don't feel it negatively affects your mental health?
Well, here it is. There are times when I've spent 3 days in this house without leaving it because I'll be working and doing this and I'll just get my groceries
Some of your most unhinged podcast appearances have been halfway through one of those benders.
It's the most pathetic bender of just not leaving home at all. And then I'll kind of walk outside and I'll be like, fucking hell, that's quite nice. But
vitamin D from the sun.
The thing is, because the walk, and that's just to the offie and back, and I'm like, oh, that is actually
those are some. It's a nice distance, the offie.
Yeah,
we got a nice distance.
It is because it's not
next door, which would just be like roll out of bed.
Yeah,
you walk around the thing. That is a nice little one,
and that's the kind of walk I like. It's got a purpose. There's a bit of fresh air.
You got a corner there.
Yeah, I can do a purposeful walk because why not? I'm happy to walk to places. But when all of you motherfuckers walking around a park for like an hour...
You don't like parks?
I like parks. I like to sit in a group and drink at parks. I don't want to walk around it.
So
I've got things to do.
So me and people will often walk on the weekends around Victoria Park, go through Broy Market. And I feel...
Yeah, because you've given up.
No, it's not given up.
You've given up.
No, it's not given up.
Any couple going to Broadway Market before the age of 30 is given up.
No, that's not true. It's not true. There's you be crazy amount of people as you meet on the way.
Who?
It charges you. I met Milo.
Yeah, people that have given up. People that have given up. I am just pulling your leg, but I also think you've given up.
Yeah.
So I believe what I'm saying. Continue.
But yeah, I feel like it charges me up walking around and seeing people out, because there's loads of markets out there. And I don't even buy stuff, but there's just
Don't get
people.
me started on markets.
You don't like a market?
What's the fucking point?
You don't like a market?
Well, yeah, I went to go and get some cheese from a market, and
a
I
nice
got
one?
in there. Whenever a nice cheese for New Year's Eve,
Yeah.
and I got to the market and I said, "Fuck this, I don't care anymore."
Why?
Because it's stressful.
Yeah.
There's far too many people.
Yeah.
It's crowded. You
Yeah.
can't walk anywhere pleasantly. You can't take your time to look at the produce because you feel like there's a queue behind you. You're in a rush. You don't saunter through a market.
No.
You blunder your way through a market.
Yeah.
I get increasingly frustrated about the amount of people there are around me and just want to leave and sit down in a pub somewhere. Sundays, go and sit in a pub. Don't go and walk in the park. Fuck me.
Thanks very much for listening. We Boys Go Wild. If you'd like to hear more shit from Andrew's face, subscribe to the Patreon. And we'll see you next week.